It's official, you guys. So they finally finished up closing arguments and Judge McAfee could hand down a ruling in just a matter of days. I'm talking about the disqualification case against Atlanta District Attorney Fani Willis, who could possibly be facing perjury charges for her testimony about a relationship with fellow prosecutor Nathan Wade. You see, Fani Willis testified under oath that her relationship with Wade only began after she appointed him to the Trump case. But the former president has subpoenaed Wade's phone records and hired a tech expert to show allegedly that he stayed over in Willis's house long before the election fraud case began. And on top of that, it was also alleged that the couple had benefited financially from taxpayers' money. Even Juanita Broaddrick, who accused former President Bill Clinton of rape, sounded off on the news saying that it's time to indict and disbar Fani Willis. Attorney and legal analyst Jonathan Turley warned that this could go even further, as Willis could get referred by prosecution by a Georgia court or a referral to the bar. Judge Scott McAfee also said himself, it's no longer just a theory that money changed hands. So should they just go ahead and throw out the Trump case altogether? In our video today, we're going to see just how deep this Fani Willis rabbit hole goes. So make sure you guys stay tuned until the very end. We're diving in right now. So let's go ahead and start with a real quick look into the closing arguments of both sides. Fresh out of the courtroom, here, check this out, guys.
Strong closing arguments from the defense as one attorney called the Fulton County Prosecutor's Office a global laughingstock. Now, each side received an hour and 30 minutes to argue before the judge one final time. Let's get you started with the defense attorneys here. There were a total of 9 defense attorneys in the hearing, but we did not hear from all 9 today. John Merchant, who represents Mike Roman, focused on conflict issue. He says this is a matter of a first impression, and we are here because of Willis's judgment. But former President Donald Trump's attorney, Steve Sadow, says Willis and Wade were simply not truthful while on the stand. He says cell phone records show that Willis and Wade's relationship started well before the date that they testified to. Defense attorneys also spent time arguing that the speech Willis made at Big Bethel AME Church was a deflection, and they say it could taint a jury. The defense claims Willis pulled, quote, the race card and the God card.
So Judge McAfee will take a couple of days to hand down this judgment on whether DA Fani Willis should be disqualified from the case, alleging that Trump and his allies conspired to illegally overturn the election results in the state. According to McAfee, there are several legal issues he has to sort through, several factual determinations he also has to make. So he hopes to have an answer for everyone within the next 2 weeks. Then again, people are already saying that if the judge is fair and not intending on protecting Fani Willis, then it's clear the ruling should go against her. But what do you guys think? I mean, this thing is just really blowing up quickly, isn't it? Many legal analysts are already saying that Fani Willis could be facing perjury charges for her testimony about a relationship with her fellow prosecutor Nathan Wade. This after Trump's lawyers subpoenaed Wade's phone records and hired a tech expert to show allegedly that he stayed over in Willis's house long before the election fraud case began, meaning that this is in conflict with what Fani Willis testified under oath, that her relationship with Nathan Wade only began after she appointed him to the Trump case. Greg Germain, a law professor in Syracuse University in New York, confirms the possible perjury charges, saying that it certainly has happened in high-profile cases like Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. So yes, a perjury prosecution is possible. And take note, guys, Trump and some of his co-defendants are not only arguing for the removal of Willis's office, but also the entire case to be dropped due to what they perceive as a conflict of interest. Now, let's also not forget Fani openly admitted to campaign finance violations. People expect to see her charged for that crime, as well as watchdog group the American Accountability Foundation. They are requesting that the Georgia State Bar open disciplinary proceedings against the Fulton County DA and Nathan Wade for violations of the Georgia Rules of Professional Conduct. AAF is alleging Wade lied under oath about his relationship with Willis, and that Fani Willis admitted to keeping campaign money for personal use on the witness stand. Now remember, guys, no one should be above the law. Am I right? We've heard this before. And this is why it's always good to have good, honest conversations and real analysis about American issues like this, just like we're doing right here, right now on our channel. Now, if you agree and you want to help keep our channel going, then don't hesitate to show your support, light up the like button, and definitely share this video. And if you really love what we're doing here, go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well. It's totally free, and you're definitely helping out a lot. You're helping us keep our YouTube lights on. So anyway, let's go ahead and get back to it, shall we? So former federal prosecutor Ellie Honig weighed in on the whole thing and said that Willis faces a really close call for disqualification. She points out how Judge McAfee has taken a real hard look at this. The judge has had several opportunities, if he wanted to, just kind of end this. He didn't even have to hold this hearing at all. But the judge said, we're going to have a hearing. It's going to be public. So it's really a close call based on what we've seen so far, and there's clearly some poor judgment exhibited by the DA. Now, another former federal prosecutor, Nima Rahmani, said that either way, the optics are bad. So Fani Willis should just go ahead and cut her losses, step down, and have someone else take over this prosecution. It's also possible, they say, that Georgia Attorney General Christopher Carr may pursue perjury charges against Fani Willis. Carr has shown a willingness to take on elected officials in criminal proceedings before. And from what I've heard, the disbarment of Fani Willis and Nathan Wade is underway through the State Bar Association. In my own personal opinion, this is an embarrassment to the entire establishment. I mean, those cell phone records certainly raise a lot of questions, right? Trump's private investigator, Charles Mittenstadt, he claimed he analyzed all interactions between Wade and Willis's phone during that time when the two were not supposedly in a relationship, which he initially said revealed over 2,000 calls and nearly 12,000 text messages during that 11-month period, most of which would likely have been before Wade was hired. So Mittenstadt said he also looked at geolocation activity of Wade's phone, which he said revealed a minimum of 35 instances in which Wade's phone connected for an extended period of time to towers near a home located in Hatfield, Georgia, where Willis was allegedly living at the time. Comments from Twitter, also known as X, are also on Trump's side here. Megyn Kelly of American Broadcasting Corporation, Sirius XM, wrote that it was just stunning that Team Trump got their hands on this in the Fani Willis case, and that it's more evidence that these two prosecutors lied under oath. They're looking at perjury charges and worse, discipline from the bar. She also said that there's a 0 chance that you can stay on this case. It's done. They're finished. Students for Trump chair Ryan Fournier, he wrote that the software that determined the cell phone records is called Cellhawk, a tool used by the Atlanta Police Department. And he was quick to point out how they use this technology to track criminals, and now, since it was used against Willis, she's against it. So for him, it's time to prosecute this liar. Even Juanita Broaddrick, who accused former President Bill Clinton of rape, sounded off on the news saying that Fani Willis is lying trash and that it's time to indict and disbar her. What do you guys think? Should Fani Willis be disbarred? Another interesting take is from attorney and legal analyst Jonathan Turley. He said that Willis could get referred for prosecution by a Georgia court and a referral to the bar. And Turley is a pretty big deal. He's a professor at George Washington University Law School who testified during Bill Clinton's impeachment inquiry in 1998 and at an impeachment hearing for Trump in 2019. So according to Turley, if the court believes that Willis and Wade lied on the stand, they should refer the matter for possible prosecution by some other office. They could also consider a referral to the bar. And for him, the instance on Willis and Wade that they remain on the case is troubling. He said that it is clear that their continuation on the matter is undermining not just the integrity of the case, but that of their office. With that being said, Willis and Wade should step aside in Trump's Georgia case, especially since their problems are escalating. To put it very simply, the response of Willis and Wade is now eclipsing the original allegations. They have placed their own personal interests before the case and of the office. Most importantly, they have allowed these interests to transcend the public's interest in the case. So they should clearly step aside, especially with allegations of false filings with the court and even perjury. And those closing arguments are pretty interesting to watch too. State Attorney Adam Abate said that these allegations that DA Fani Willis financially benefited from her relationship with prosecutor Nathan Wade, they were all speculation and conjecture lodged in to harass and honestly embarrass her. He added that Willis was subjected to irrelevant questioning on the witness stand that was intended to, again, embarrass and harass the district attorney in a way that was very public, in a way that was to impugn her character as it relates to that line of questioning in front of the court, in front of anyone watching the proceedings. But things took a very interesting turn when Judge McAfee pressed the DA's office on this line of argument. He asked, "Aren't we past the speculation and conjecture aspect of this though?" And he continued on to say that the core of the financial allegation was that there is a relationship and that money has changed hands. And guys, this is coming from the judge who's going over the ruling in this disqualification case. I swear I cannot make this stuff up. So Judge McAfee said that the bottom line remained. It's no longer just a theory that money changed hands. It's no longer speculation or conjecture. Definitely some pretty spicy stuff happening in the courtroom here, guys. The next development we're keeping an eye on, Nathan Wade's attorney finally taking the stand. After a lot of private meetings, McAfee ruled the special prosecutor Nathan Wade's former law partner and divorce attorney Terrence Bradley must retake the stand in former President Donald Trump's Georgia election interference case to testify on topics not covered by attorney-client privilege. See, Wade was trying to block Bradley from testifying before, previously by saying that he could violate attorney-client privilege. But following a meeting with Bradley, McAfee notified attorneys in the case via email that some communications between Wade and Bradley do not fall under attorney-client confidentiality. Now, this is big, guys. Bradley's return to the stand could potentially lead to a significant revelation as the defense continues its effort to disqualify Fani Willis from the election case and have the charges completely dismissed. That's something that we should keep an eye on in the coming days, guys. Just make sure you're subscribed to the channel and have that notification bell on. That way you don't miss when our next video drops. Definitely more to come on the next one. I'll see you guys there.